Hey Ash, great to see you again.
Yay, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Favorite day of the year on
Oh
Monday?
my God, like the best day of the year. It is so much fun.
I don't know if I mentioned it last year, but I do extra work around this time in the lead up and all in the radio and everything. And
Yeah, I'm
the
sure.
97th Academy Awards has been my busiest year. I've been so many people asking me because it's unpredictable and there's been controversy behind the scenes with different movies and people, and it's all happening.
It sure is. It's been like a crazy year. Every step of the way, we're like, is this gonna win? Is this gonna win? And then like just curveball after curveball and controversy after controversy. It's been insane.
Yeah, I don't know if voting closed after or before some of that controversy, so that would affect things too, because voting would have closed. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact date. How do you think Conan O'Brien will be as host this year? The first time he's ever host. Personally, I can't wait. I think he's hysterical. He's good. I think he's good. But do you like him or not?
I actually do not have like a big relationship with him. When he was announced, I was like, "Oh, I don't know how to feel about this." I swear, like 200 people messaged me being like, "What the hell? How can you say that? He is amazing." And so I was like, "Okay, well, I guess I'm excited." Like, yeah, I mean, people tell me he's great, so I'm very keen.
If there was one snub this year that didn't get a look in, uh, what would it be? Mine's Heretic. I thought at
So
least maybe
good.
acting or screenwriting, like that screenplay. Some of the dialogue in that movie was incredible. Hugh Grant was good. They were all good. Music was good. So Heretic is my biggest snub. There's a few, but I'll just name that one. Have you got any?
Yes, I agree. Heretic was great, and we are like so close to getting Hugh Grant in there. Maybe I was like, oh,
Yeah.
please. I think maybe like challenges in score is my biggest
Oh
one.
yeah.
I also would have loved to see Margaret Qualley in for the substance for supporting actress, but you can't
Yeah.
have it all.
Yeah, I am surprised too because she had pretty much equal screen time, maybe a little bit less than
Yeah, I think she
Demi
hasn't got
Moore.
the narrative maybe that Demi
Yeah.
has, but like they did really embrace the substance, which I'm shocked by. I can't believe we're here, honestly. It's been a long road to get here, but the substance, woohoo. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like so I did think she had a chance because it has shown up in several categories.
Yeah. And we off air we did talk a little bit about Furiosa, Mad Max Furiosa. That didn't get
Yeah.
a look in either, and you were surprised. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not, but you are.
I'm not in the sense that like as soon as it did that badly at the box office, I was
Yeah.
like, well, there's no way this is getting anything. But the fact that it was like a nomination leader, I think, in the year it kind of came out, Fury Road, I thought that like we might get like something below the line here, but it was just blanked all season. It never showed up, so I never even predicted it. But yeah.
Yeah, challenges, I guess, especially for music. I think, again, I don't hope that haters don't hate me for it, but I liked it, but I wasn't a huge fan. I thought it was a little bit overrated. But the music,
Really? Oh God, I thought it was like the soundtrack of the score of
oh, the
the
soundtrack's
year. It was
amazing. I don't,
so
oh,
much
the
fun. Yeah.
music and Zendaya
Yeah.
is incredible. She acts beyond her years. She's like one of this crop of young stars that are currently we're watching at the moment. She's part of that, who's terrific. But yeah, overall, doesn't surprise me. With screenplay and director and that, I didn't think it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think maybe like editing and score were like the two places we expected it to show up. And like predicting editing this year has actually been really hard because Challenges has like been nominated at most precursors and won most precursors, but it's not even nominated at the Oscars. So we're like, oh, what do we look to? So everyone's just like looked at BAFTA basically for it. It's like the one spot that like it happened. Yeah.
Mm. All right, I'm going to start with best documentary short. I'm just going from the bottom up on my Vanity Fair list here. So
Woohoo!
I love Vanity Fair. Shout out! I'd love to write for you. Best documentary short: Death by Numbers, Incident, The Only Girl in the Orchestra, I Am Ready, Warden, and Instruments of a Beating Heart. The only one I've seen is Incident, so I'm going to just go with Incident. Have you seen any, and what are you picking?
I've seen most of these actually, and I'm also going with Incident. I actually think Incident is the best short out of all of them. I thought that it was like one of the best pieces of like documentary filmmaking I've ever seen, actually. And I don't know if it's gonna win because I don't know. I think there's a lot of like weird like sound kind of stuff, which is it's kind of like the point of the documentary is they have
Yeah.
used a lot of sound from like cams from I guess like police cams and such. But yeah, I don't know. I think like the popular one right now is The Only Girl in the Orchestra, and I think that's like
Yeah.
probably mainly because it's on Netflix. It's easy for people to watch. It's like more of a feel good. That's actually one I haven't seen, so I think it's feel good. Could be wrong. And yeah, I just think like Netflix also just has like a really good like stat of kind of winning here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, good call. I didn't realize it was actually on Australian Netflix. Thought it was only overseas, so I'm really stoked. I might have to watch that before Monday.
Yeah, I should watch it. I feel like I got a bit burnt out on the docs, to be honest, because not all of them are great.
Yeah, it can be hard. That's true. But I'll watch as many as I can between everything else. We both pretty much watch everything.
Yeah.
Okay, best short film live action. We have a Leon or a lion. I'm not sure how to
Yeah,
pronounce
I say
that.
alien, but I don't know. Everyone's
Yeah,
wondering, what is
let's
it?
let's say alien, but I'd say
Yeah.
it is a Leon. I'm not a robot. I should be doing this in alphabetical order, shouldn't I? The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent, The Last Ranger, and Anya, I think it is. I have not seen any of these, but I hate to
I've seen
say,
most of them, and I'm going
okay,
for Alien.
okay,
I think that it's the one that makes you like feel the most. I do think it's like between that and what was it called? The Man Who Cannot Remain Silent. I think
yeah,
those are kind of like maybe the two front runners here. Yeah, but I'm going Alien. So
I'm impressed. You've seen all of them.
yeah, yeah. Well, I try.
Yeah, I do try. Probably obviously not hard enough. Best short film, animated, Beautiful Men, In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wonder to Wonder, and Yuck. I saw Beautiful Men and Wonder to Wonder, and out of those two, because I haven't seen the other three, I'll go Wonder to Wonder.
I'm going with Yuck because it's
Okay,
super cute and it's also got a weird
it
name, which I
looks
think
good.
often actually like works in the favor of this category for some reason. I do think like Wonder to Wonder might kind of be the favorite. I think it won the BAFTA and the Annie Award. But there's not like
Yeah,
a massive correlation here with precursors as far as I'm aware. So I don't know. I just think Yuck's cute. I also think they really often go for more like kid-friendly things because it's animation, and that's Yuck, I think. And Wonder to Wonder is actually really dark, and actually it's my favorite in the category. But yeah, yeah, I think both of those are probably front runners.
yeah. After its BAFTA win, Wonder to Wonder, I thought I'll better watch this, and I'm glad I did. Now I know why it won. But you're right; they kind of steer towards animation when it comes to shorts
Yeah.
sometimes. Okay, so visual effects. This has got an Australian involved, Australian team. Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Well, hopefully the Australian flag's flying for Better Man, but I'm not sure.
I would love to see it happen.
And I love
But I
Kingdom of the
think
Planet
it's
of the Apes. I loved
I mean, I love
Alien.
all these movies to be
Yeah,
honest. So
yeah.
yeah.
What are you picking? I know what
I'm
I'm picking.
going June here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
think
seems
it's
to kind of be the
worthy.
front runner here. Yeah.
It's worthy, and it's epic. And another movie that because I didn't dislike that part one, but it was a lot of space politics. I just didn't like it as much as June Part Two blew me
I
away.
love both, but yeah, I agree. And it's just visually spectacular. And I think
Mm.
because of the VFX is a big part of that. So June needs some love. Let's give it some love.
Better Man any chance for the Aussies? Do you reckon? I mean,
I don't
you were
think
convinced
so.
you were convinced that Robbie was a monkey.
Yeah, look, I thought it was incredible. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. I just don't see it happening this year. I just think this is like kind of one of June's like main locks of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Best sound, A Complete Unknown, June Part Two, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Well, how do you pick? Like seriously, how do you pick?
It is really hard, yeah. And actually, I wish that like Civil War had shown up here. That would have been like my like big
Another
upset,
one of
like
my
as a
snubs, actually.
nomination.
Another
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of
yeah,
my snubs.
exactly. Yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed with that movie. But yeah, I'm going June here as well.
Yeah. I want to sway towards A Complete Unknown, but I'm not. I'm going to stick with June Part Two. It was phenomenal. The
I
sound.
just think like especially if you experienced the sandworm scene, like that was just next level. I've actually just never experienced anything like that in a cinema before. So I
Yeah.
feel like it has to go to them.
I don't know where you saw it. It was probably a massive screen like I saw it in Sydney. And
Yeah.
yeah, that scene was rumbling the
Yeah,
entire
like the
theater.
whole cinema was vibrating. Like I could feel it in my bones. I was like, oh, the
Yeah,
sound design. Whew.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I agree. I got to go with it. Best production design. Uh, this is good. This is a really good competitive category. The Brutalist, Conclave, June Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I think it's Wicked's win for
I'm going
production
Wicked as
design.
well. I mean,
Yeah,
like they literally planted like tulips in the ground. They created whole giant sets. Like it's, I don't know. I just think this is next level design, and I'm very happy to see Wicked get some love.
yeah. Listeners, watchers of this chat, we haven't spoken to each other about our predictions yet, so this is all news to both of us. But yeah, we've been picking the same ones so far.
We
Or
have, yeah.
almost.
I will say, like, I'm generally going with what I guess is assumed the front runners with a lot of these. I do have a few kind of swings that I'm taking, but for the most part, I am playing it pretty safe. But I think that's based on a lot of like precursors and vibes and feelings. So yeah,
I think for the smaller amount of money that Brady Corbet had for The Brutalist, that looks incredible as well. I mean, they all look good, these movies. Conclave, it was such a area where they were in tight spaces and dark rooms, but that looked amazing, the
I think
production.
like the issue with Conclave, I would guess, is that like they kind of recreated the Vatican. So I
Mm.
just wonder if that like almost works against them. With the Brutalist, I think it's amazing. I do wonder if like maybe a bit of the AI has kind of tarnished them in this category. I could be wrong because as far as I'm aware, it was only really used in a small scene in like the epilogue, but I do think this is probably a place where a lot of people are very sensitive about AI. So
Considering the guild had a strike
exactly right.
over
Yeah.
AI, and now it's came out that this movie participated in using it, even as
Yeah.
brief as it was, it still used it. It's really left a lot of people shaking their heads, and the Brutalist has gone from the top to mid now.
100%. Yep.
Yeah,
It is
and with
sad because
the
I love the Brutalist. So
Oh, same. So, me too. Absolutely. But with Conclave, you were saying recreating the Vatican. It was only Tom Cruise. He was allowed to film in the Vatican, right? For Mission Impossible. But not Rafe
only Tom
Fiennes.
Cruise. That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, well, poor Rafe.
Poor Rafe. He's
Okay.
my
So,
favorite.
yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a new Mission Impossible movie this year. People keep saying to me, "What are you looking forward to? The new Jurassic Park?" And I'm like, "Yeah, nah, the new Mission."
No, yeah, that's my number one anticipated movie of the year is Mission Impossible. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. Best makeup and hairstyling. I love this category every year. A
So
different
excited.
man. Yeah, Amelia Perez. Different man's. I wanted to say something about that. Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. A Different Man. I thought about for a long time to choose it because of how amazing and believable and the way it was put together on a small budget. But how do you go past Wicked? I mean, I have to pick Wicked, I think.
For makeup?
Makeup and hairstyling,
Really?
maybe
Okay.
this.
No, no. I
You going the
completely disagree
substance?
with you. Yeah, I'm going the substance. I feel like this whole movie is just this like orgasmic, I don't know, creation of makeup, hair, like everything just like put together. It's so crazy. The body horror, the prosthetics, like I don't know. I just feel like that compared to like some green makeup. I know that it was more complicated than that, but I truly think that this is like a feat of makeup and I think that it's going to the substance. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, your opinion. No, I value your opinion. You know that. I love what you got to say. So, I tossed it up, but I'm just with Wicked. I just it's tough. I know this substance, but how many Academy voters will go with a body horror movie? You know, like this is a new thing almost. Not brand new, of
It
course.
is, yeah. They
This is a
very
new thing.
rarely go for horror in general. So predicting horror to win in any category is kind of like, oh, hedge your bets. But I don't know. I do think that this is where it's going to be embraced. And I do think like the people voting here are going to be like pretty impressed with what was achieved because they're essentially like makeup artists. So
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, will Nosferatu and Substance cancel each other out though? Being two
it's
horror.
possible. And I will say I've seen some videos on Nosferatu and what they pulled off was like insane. So I guess like a shock like that wouldn't be super surprising, but yeah, I just think the substance has they seem to have embraced it at least with the nominations. So I think they like it and I think it's gonna happen.
Yep.
I'm pretty confident.
Okay, best film editing or best editing.
Woohoo!
Yes, this is the first time I've said the
This is
name
the
Honora.
stressful one.
Yes, Honora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. Okay, I'll go first. It is stressful, and I know you're a big Honora fan, and the editing was pretty good. But I'm gonna stick with The Brutalist, I think. Yeah.
I feel like that's a call. Interesting. I'm impressed. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Conclave here actually, and I do think this category is so hard to predict because,
Mm,
like I said, all the precursors have gone to challenges, so it's like we have like almost nothing to look at. And I
mm.
mean, BAFTA went with it, but with Conclave, but like they gave that Best Picture. It's a British
It
film.
cleaned
Like,
up,
how
yeah,
much
cleaned up.
can you really like put stock in what they're giving? So yeah, I don't know. I do think this is kind of up in the air. I do also kind of think Nora could be like an upset here as well, especially like spoilers, but that's like my pick for best picture. So I almost feel like every time Nora is in a category, you really have to think like, is it going to take it here for that reason? So
Yeah. I think the AI thing is going to hurt The Brutalist. I just thought the editing was 3.5 hours of perfection. Uh, the
see,
conflict.
that's almost my problem with predicting the brutalist is that because it is so long. I mean, but it showed up here, which I guess like is proof that that doesn't matter so much. But because it is like a long movie, I wonder if people are like, oh, he could have cut stuff out. The editing wasn't that good. But I agree with you that it feels like a shorter movie. So maybe that'll help. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you love Honora, no spoilers there.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, Conclave's an interesting choice, and I do think the BAFTAs and the SAGs in particular are indicators of what will happen.
Yeah.
And editing often coincides with the best film. Um,
Exactly right, which is why I'm extremely nervous.
yeah, 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 we'll get there. Best costume design. Now, I have a costume designer friend who thinks, what did she tell me? Nosferatu. She told me, and she's not an Academy member, so she's not voting, but that was her pick, and she does
Yep.
it for a living. The best costume design movies are Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Was that actually? Let's stop for a sec. Was that one of your snubs, Gladiator 2? It wasn't for me.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
thought it
good.
was a very mediocre film,
Oh
sadly.
yeah.
I wanted to love it. Like it's fine, it's entertaining and fun. It's just it's no Gladiator 1.
No, I'm with you. I am not surprised it's had no love over the previous couple of months. Okay. Costumes in detailed without question in every movie. I'm gonna go with Conclave. I think Conclave. The detail of those robes. Again,
I love all the love you're giving to Conclave.
I
This
want
is
to
so
give Wicked.
good.
I actually want to go Wicked, but I am
I'm
giving it to
going Wicked
Conclave.
personally. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
Wicked. I just think like all of those dresses, just everything. I do just think it's pretty fantastical and exciting. And I have like a similar issue with Conclave here as I did with the production design, in that I think they're kind of almost just like recreating what the Pope kind of wears or the cardinals wear. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but to me, I think like the most like fantastical and exciting is Wicked. So yeah,
but that's part of their expertise. I mean, look at
I
what they
know.
did.
Yeah,
I mean, they went back to old photos and videos of Bob Dylan and
yeah.
recreated what he wore. I think that's part of their expertise.
Yeah, I agree with you. I actually think like a complete unknown could upset here as well. It's kind of a hard category, but they do tend to go for like more like period piece films. I think it's like very rare that they ever do like a modern day thing. Not that a complete unknown would be because it's like obviously like the 70s or something, but Yeah, they
60s.
I think 60s, yeah, mostly seem to go with like either fantasy or like period pieces in this category. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I want to go Wicked, and I changed my mind 2 or 3 times, but I'll stick with
yeah,
Conclave on
nice,
costumes.
love it.
Yeah. Cinematography. Oh, we get this is a big one, big gun. All
Yep.
right, best cinematography. I can almost hear your head ticking over here. Brutalist, June Part Two, Amelia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. Let you go first on this one.
Okay, I want to say that I want it to go to Jude, but I think it's going to The Brutalist, and I do think that The Brutalist does deserve it. It like is just a beautiful film, and I think this is one like major win for The Brutalist.
If if there was a five-way tie for a movie, I would give it to all of them because
Yes, yeah, they're all
I,
great.
I
Yeah.
can't step even Maria, which overall the movie didn't excite me
Yeah,
that
I
much.
am not a fan of the film, but I can't disagree. Like
It
that and
looked
production design of Maria were like the two areas where I was like, well, it's beautiful. Yeah.
and Nosferatu's dark, and I always say whenever you have a dark, predominantly dark movie, they're trying to hide something or whatever, but you didn't know it was dark half the time because of the beautiful sound,
Yeah,
the
it was
sound
stunning.
and the vision that were going together in that film. I want to say Emilia Perez because I'm one of the few fans of the film. I actually, as entertainment, thought it was weird and unique, but I still really enjoyed it. Besides the controversies, that's a whole nother thing. But I'm going to stick with The Brutalist. Yeah, that cinematography is second to none. And you got to remember, he had a smaller budget, a lower budget. So,
Yes, yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
yeah, it's in June. I mean, look at compare the two. Anyway, yeah, that's a really good category, Ash. Song. Would you agree this is a weak? A
Ah,
weak?
this is like the worst year,
Yeah,
honestly. And I mean,
yeah.
this is
The
coming from an
weakest
Amelia
year.
Perez fan, apparently. Like, yeah, I think that the problem is like the musicals we've kind of got this year are not original, so they can't show up here. And I
Yeah,
will say, I actually do quite like the Amelia Perez songs here. I think, is it El Mal? That's what I've got to win. That seems
yeah.
to be just like what's shown up all season. I know that like this at Diana Warren, a lot of people are like maybe this is her year. She gets like nominated every year, and maybe with the controversies, maybe like it'll kind of trickle down to her. But I don't know. I think that like Amelia Perez has shown up enough this season, and I think that it's probably going to go to them. And it is like a really exciting, fun song. So yeah, I think it's deserved.
I'll quickly run through them all.
Yeah,
Elmar.
sorry.
That's all right. The Journey, the six triple. Oh, Elmar is Amelia Perez. The Journey from the 6 888, which I've got to say I haven't seen. Like a Bird, I've listened to the song now. Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino, and that's from Amelia Perez, and that's my pick. And then Elton John, Never Too Late. Bit of a shame we won't see him performing a song
Yeah, right.
because he throws like big Oscar parties every year. I'm going the same as you. You have to, right? I mean,
Exactly right. Yeah, I mean it's just shown up everywhere. So
I don't think Diane Warren. I feel sorry for her, but she's I'm going to say this when we get to Guy Pearce, but the fact that you just nominated is pretty huge. Like, and the amount of time she's
100%.
been
Yeah.
nominated, but it is. I mean, it's not disheartening, but I can only imagine how she sees a screen and a face on the screen with four other people, and then her name never gets read out.
I
Um,
know it's going to be one of these years it's going to happen.
there'll be a lifetime achievement award for her at some point, I'd say.
That's right.
But it's a weak category this year, really weak. I thought that song Miley Cyrus sang for in the last
That
show.
would have been nice. Yeah, I would have
Yeah,
loved to see that, but
yeah,
no.
and that was a great movie. That was another one of my snubs, actually. All right, so score, best original score, Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot. Oh man, the score on Conclave is yeah. I mean the music
I
in
agree.
Brutalist
That's my
hits.
favorite
Mm.
score of the year is out of this category, I say The Substance is my favorite, that and Challenges. But Conclave, friggin' love Conclave score, but The Brutalist, fantastic as well, and that's who I've got to win.
Okay, now see, I can't. I'm going to go with Conclave, but the Brutalist hits you right in that opening scene with that music.
And that's why I've got it, I think, because that opening scene, that's one of the best scenes of the year, and that da-na-na-na, like it's just, I think that's like almost when it wins. It's just it just hits you, and I wish they'd use that score more throughout the movie. It's like the one place they really seem to use it. But yeah, obsessed, and I think
Yeah,
it's gonna win.
it does pop up again, but not in such dramatic circumstances and form.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to go with Conclave on that one. But again, I'm stuck with those two movies.
it's
All
hard.
right, best documentary feature. We got an Australian involved here too. Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. I hope I'm saying that
Coup
right.
d'etat, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know. That's what I hear people say.
that's how educated I am. Sorry.
I
And
listen to a lot of
Sugarcane.
podcasts.
I've seen three of these: Sugarcane, Porcelain War, and No Other Land. I think No Other Land is going to win it, but Porcelain War is the Australian documentary, and it's just a plug for my YouTube channel. I interviewed one of the producers, and we talked all about it, and her going to the
Oh,
Oscars and
awesome.
what she's wearing and all
That
that.
is so exciting. Oh,
Yeah. So check out that interview if you're interested. And I'd love to see Porcelain War win for them. It's the second favorite, but No Other Land has been extremely popular and
I
winning.
do think that Porcelain will actually stand a chance. I'm also going No Other Land, but I am extremely hesitant, mainly because of the subject matter. I do think because it's like about the Palestinians and the Israelis, and so this movie it came out a year ago. It
It's
hasn't
been
been able
around
to
a
get,
while.
yeah, like it's been
Yeah.
out for ages. It hasn't been able to get any distribution in the US. I just think there is a lot of controversy around this. And keep in mind that Academy voters, I think they're going to definitely sway one way here. And so it just makes me very, very nervous about predicting this one. That being said, I think it's really an important documentary. It has shown up a decent amount this season, but I don't feel good about this prediction. And I do think that, like, yeah, another movie could easily take its place. I'm not sure which one it would be. Maybe Porcelain War. Yeah.
Well, I'd be happy to lose this category. Go
Yeah.
the Aussie. Go Porcelain
Yeah,
War.
Aussies.
It's our main hope. Like out of the four Australian nominees, I think it's our main hope.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, we've got two more to talk about: animation and Guy Pearce. But yeah, I think Porcelain War is our main hope for documentary, and I really hope it gets there. I'll be crying. I'm already going to be crying throughout the ceremony. But if an Australian wins, I'm right behind him. Okay, animated. I just spoke about animated. Australian involved here too. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. What do you think? It has to be a Wild Robot, right?
I'm actually going with Flow. This is one that I'm taking a bit of a swing on. I do think that the Wild Robot is probably like the favorite here, but you know, Flow also showed up in the international feature category. I think it's got like a lot of love. I think that maybe because he's like a new voice and he has just created this like amazing thing, and he's really, I think, been campaigning really hard as well. So I don't know. I think this is like one place it could happen. Like last year, there was a bit of an upset, and you could just say that was because of like Miyazaki. That's definitely a possibility. And I do think maybe going against the Wild Robot's a bit crazy, but you've got to take a few swings, and I can really see Flow showing up here. So I'm going for Flow.
Yeah, I am too. I was trying to be facetious in my
Oh,
words
really?
because
Okay.
I think the Wild Robot's the favorite from memory. Last
Yeah.
time I looked at the odds, and everyone's
Yeah.
talking about it, and it's you know what, beginning of the year last year, and when I saw Inside Out too, I don't know why it really affected me, and I love the film, and I
Oh,
said,
me too. I think that
oh
movie is fantastic. This is a great
yeah,
category, I have to say. Every movie here is so good.
yeah, well, totally. That usually is animated, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
it
gets
is
better
usually pretty
every
good.
year. But I would have said, and I said after I first saw Inside Out 2, it's got the Oscar already. Just give it the Oscar. But then I saw Flow, and then I saw The Wild Robot, and Wilson Gromit's amazing as well. What they've done with that, and then you know, Memoir of a Snail. How Adam Elliott has come this far he's already won an Oscar for his, before for one of his shorts.
Yeah, and
So
it's just a beautiful movie as well.
it
So
is. It's such an awesome category. But no, I said it on radio this morning. It's a movie a lot of people might not have even heard of, about a cat called Flo. So
yeah.
yeah, it's my pick too. So we're the same
Woohoo.
on that. Yeah.
United.
Yes. For a few, we'll see how we go. We've got a few more left. Best international film. See, I'm an Amelia Perez fan, so you know what I'm going to pick probably. Amelia Perez, Flo, The Girl with the Needle. I'm Still Here, which I have to admit, and I told you off air, I haven't seen this, but you have. I'm Still Here. And then finally, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, which I have seen as well. And oh my goodness, that
I've seen it, and that's actually my favorite of this category. Oh, I think I actually like I'm Still Here a bit more now, but I love both of these movies. Yeah, I'm going with I'm Still Here. I think that this is a toss up between this and Amelia Perez. You could argue that Amelia Perez is like the nomination leader, so why wouldn't we go for that? But I do think there has been like intense controversy around this movie. I think also a lot of people don't like it. And I think that because I'm Still Here showed up in Best Picture, that means that more people have seen it. And so if they're looking for an alternative in this category, I think they might go that way. And I just think this movie is like so amazing. I have to go for it. I love it. So and I think that like this isn't like a hope diction. I think it has like a real chance.
I did with the documentary shorts, and that I picked just randomly because I hadn't seen them all, and I haven't seen one of these, so I've only seen the 4 out of the 5. And what you're telling me, what I've read, and what like in Brazil, they're crazy about
Brazil.
this movie. Uh,
Yeah.
and you were saying that one of the stars is in Australia at the moment filming, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool in itself. So he'll be having his own little private party.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun for him. Well, I hope he actually gets to go to the Oscars. I wonder if he's going because, like, he's in a Best Picture, but I mean, who knows with him also filming. So, yeah,
Well,
my fingers are
quite
crossed for him.
often, especially if an actor's nominated or a director and they're on set somewhere else, they'll either zoom in maybe, or they do fly them to the ceremony and fly them back.
Yeah.
Like a 24-hour
Yeah,
turnaround.
I mean,
So
he's like a main character in the film, and it's nominated for Best Picture. So I
that's
do
good.
hope that he gets to go. And apparently he's like the Brad Pitt of Brazil. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. One of the producers at Sky News, she's Brazilian, and she's been filling me in on what's happening, in a hometown basically, and the whole country is just way, way behind this movie, and so excited. So I've
I
got to
can't
see it.
even tell you with this movie. I have to say, like, so I every month have posted my Oscar predictions since probably like September last year, right? And
I
every
would say
month
you've been predicting earlier than that, Ash.
Oh yeah, I mean, award season is 365 days a year for
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I usually start in September and like every month I have had so many Brazilians just like bomb my comments. Like I want to say like minimum 100 comments at least being like Fernanda Torres is winning actress. I'm still here for picture. Like I have never seen a fan base this intense ever. And like, keep in mind, we have like Ariana Grande nominated this year. I thought her fans were going to go out crazy.
Yeah.
They've been nothing compared to these Brazilians. And like, if you've been on any like of the, live streams of like when they announce the nominations or anything, you would have just seen 1,000 Brazilians in the comments. Like, their patriotism is next level and I just am like so endeared by it. I can't help but like root for them. It's just so exciting. So I can't wait to see them win.
Yeah, I totally. I mean, I really enjoyed Amelia Perez, and I'm going to go with that because I haven't seen I'm Still Here. I mean, I've seen the other three, and Flow. I mean, is a chance too because it's honestly it
I
affected.
think
It's
less of a
affected a lot.
chance just because it's not in Best Picture. I almost feel like in this category, you have to go with what's in Best Picture. This is like an interesting one this year because we've had international films in Best Picture the last few years.
I
And
know.
especially
Yeah.
last year, we didn't have like the double up. I think like Anatomy of a Fall wasn't selected. Is that right? So it never showed up in international and Zone of Interest got it. I
Yeah,
think
Zone
that's
of
how it
Interest got
worked
it.
from memory. Yeah. But so they've never like gone head to head before is kind of what I'm saying with like two international features in Best Picture as well. So this is going to be exciting.
Oh, totally exciting. I mean, I was right behind Zone of Interest last year. That was one of my
Yeah.
favorites of the entire year. Okay, adapted screenplay. This is a big one. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. I'm going Conclave. Yeah.
Conclave as well. It's picked up all the precursors, and I think this is like a pretty big lock for Conclave. Very exciting.
Did you like Nickel Boys and Sing Sing? That they're two movies that I'm less.
Yes, I loved both of
Did
them.
you?
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
like Sing So Wow, I'm surprised. Like I feel like everyone's obsessed with that movie. Yeah, I was a big fan of both of them. I thought they were both pretty amazing. I definitely prefer Sing Sing. I just thought, especially like Coleman Domingo, the
Oh yeah.
performance
Of
just
course. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I'm so glad he was nominated. Yeah, I wish that it had gotten a bit more love this year. Don't even get me started on the rollout for that film. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it won the Globe, right? It surprised a few people. Was it the Globes?
I don't think it has won anywhere
I,
from memory.
okay. I
Yeah.
thought Sing
I
Sing
think in
won something at the Globes. Maybe was it somewhere else? Anyway.
maybe it's won somewhere. Yeah. I'm sure it's won
Yeah.
a few things, but I don't think it hasn't won any of like the big awards. Yeah,
I
sadly.
saw I saw the ensemble on stage somewhere. There's been that many awards ceremonies I've been watching
There
lately,
has
and
been a lot. I think
so
it won like one of the first ones, like the Gothams or something.
yeah, well, that's it.
That
That was
might
it.
have
It
been
was
it.
Gotham's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Gotham's. That's right, and they were all on stage, and that straight away thought, oh, this is going to have momentum, but it's had no momentum
We
at
all
all.
hoped that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
We were
really
all
did, but
rooting for it.
I still would have
So,
picked Conclave.
yeah.
Easily. All right, this is original screenplay, I think. Next, yeah, Honora, A Real Pain, The Brutalist, September 5, which I only saw a couple of weeks ago, and The Substance. Uh, you go first. This one, I think I know what you're going to say.
Okay, so for this one, I feel like I have to go with Anora. I don't know if it's necessarily what I would choose in the category, but I guess my reasoning for going with Anora is that again, I have Anora for Best Picture. Anora also won WGA, the Writers Guild. So I believe the stat is that if you won the WGA and you win Best Picture, like you're gonna win the screenplay prize, and that's like that's never not happened, if that makes sense. I'm not really explaining this stat very well, but it is just always what's happened. So if you're going to go against Honora in that regard, you're essentially going against a stat that's never happened. So my personal pick here would be The Substance, and I think that it's possible. Coralie Farge, she won at Cannes for that. It has like won in a few places. I also think this is a category that they often reward someone or a movie that isn't going to take picture or another big prize, but they want to kind of like reward that person for kind of this amazing work that they've done. And so I do kind of feel like this could be somewhere it happens, but I'm not predicting it. Also, A Real Pain. That's like the other upset. So it's kind of like a stressful category.
Yeah, A Real Pain could be upset because of the it's so dialogue heavy and
Yeah. And I
very
think
long.
people love Jesse Eisenberg as well.
Oh,
Like,
he's loved around Tinseltown, definitely.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, I have a thing with Honora's screenplay, and I think I've messaged you about this previously. A lot of it's not scripted. A lot of it isn't even written. They
Yeah,
just
sure.
they go off on tangents. And yes, there's a basis of Sean Baker's screenplay, and I know he's a great writer. I've really liked all his work, but a majority of this is just improvised, and not all of
Yeah.
it. I get it, not all of it, but that's what's made me think The Substance. This is The Substance for me, and A Real Pain
Well,
is the
I
upset.
really hope that you are right. This is my dream to happen. But and I had it in my predictions for the longest time, but I was forced to take it out when I learnt this stat about the WGA Best Picture kind of win thing. I was like, I just can't go against a stat that has like never been broken. So I'm going Honora, and I get and this is the thing, Honora might not win Best Picture. This is definitely not a set thing. So it is a bit risky, but yeah, we'll see.
I'm not saying Anora is going to be shut out, but I think a lot of people are going to be surprised when it doesn't win much at all. If
Don't
anything.
say that.
Sorry.
But this is another thing I will say. I guess we can talk about it maybe more when it comes to director or whatever. But the thing is that Sean Baker, the director, writer, editor, he is up for a lot of prizes, and I
Oh,
believe no one has won more than three, maybe I think it's three like prizes like on one night for the same movie. I think the record goes to Walt Disney, and that was for like two separate films, and he has four. So it's like if we're predicting Anora to get all this stuff, like Sean Baker is going to be the biggest winner in the history of the Academy Awards, and like I'd love to see it happen, but I don't know if I can kind of like go against these stats. So yeah, it's stressful.
Yes, stats are good, but they're not always. They don't always tell the complete story.
Yeah.
I think Sean Baker's collective of work are outstanding. And don't get me
Oh,
wrong,
agreed. I love him.
it did take me two watches for Honora to not get it, but appreciate it more. When my first watch on Honora, I'm like, oh, this is a bit different. I don't know if I believe all the hype
Interesting.
here from Khan,
Yeah.
but then I got it. Now I've seen it three times. So Mikey
Oh,
Madison
awesome.
is unreal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with the substance because it worries me that it's a horror movie. We've already spoken about that. It's a body horror. And it's so impactful and not. You'd think a lot of Academy voters wouldn't even finish it. I hate to say it, but a lot of the times they get screeners and probably don't even finish the film. Um, and a real pain is going to be the upset here, but I'm going to stick with the substance, not an aura. But if it
Let's
wins,
do it.
I'll
Hey,
be
I'd be very happy to be wrong here. So
I'll be stoked for Sean Baker, of course, and the whole team behind Honora. But no, I don't think so. Supporting actor. Is it Yura Bosnov? Is that how
Yura Borisov. Yeah,
Borisov?
I think.
Kieran Culkin, Edward Norton. Oh, sorry, Yura Borisov for Honora. Kieran Culkin, a real pain. Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown. He's amazing. I've always liked Edward. Guy Pearce, the Aussie, the Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong, the Apprentice. Oh, this is great, isn't it? What a category. You can't go. I mean, I'm going to pick
I agree. Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Culkin.
Yeah, I'm Kieran Culkin as well. This is like a no-brainer. He has swept this whole season. Job done. I wish that
I
Guy Pearce was kind of a bit more of a thing because I thought he was fantastic, and this is his first nomination ever. Like, what the hell? He's a legend.
Yeah, well, I think all the Emmys he won for Succession really reminded people. They knew already, but they reminded people how cool he is because of all these speeches and how
Yeah,
talented he is.
so
So
true. I'm a
yeah,
Succession fan, so I'm not mad about this. I love Kieran Culkin. I want to see him get it. And I love a real pain. So yeah, very keen.
so definitely no upsets here.
I think it would be unprecedented if that happened. Like I don't know if it's ever happened that someone has just swept every major award and then just yeah, it's gone to someone else. So
Didn't Glenn Close was it Glenn Close? Didn't she win a lot?
no,
And then
was that the Olivia Colman year?
yeah,
Yeah,
Glenn
see,
Close for the
she
wife.
took the Globe and the BAFTA. I think it was like
Mhm.
close, but like yeah, there definitely was like a few places that she showed weakness. So
It's a bit like an Honora Fernanda Torres for her film and Demi Moore. It's a three-person race there, but we'll get to that. Okay, we both gone with Kieran Culkin, and that's a no-brainer, like you said. Supporting actress. Ha, this is going to be interesting on the day. Monica Barbaro for Complete Unknown. Ariana Grande, Wicked. Felicity Jones, the Brutalist, who, oh wow, that scene where she gets dragged away. Isabella Rossellini made such an impact in Conclave, and then Zoe Saldana, Emilia Perez. I'll go first on this one. I can't pick a loser. I can't pick a loser. But it has to be Zoe, right? I think she's won
exactly the
everything.
same thing as Kieran. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
just swept all season. I was so hopeful for Ariana Grande, but just hasn't happened. So, I've got to say Zoe. Yeah. And
and
I
do you
love
think?
Zoe, so I'm very happy.
Oh yeah, me too. She deserves it. She's been acting since she was a little girl. I know a lot more younger actors come through the system now, but a lot of young actors disappear or don't act anymore. So for her, she's never stopped. And the role in the movie itself, I enjoyed. But what about Isabella? I mean, it's a small role. Does
I would
screen?
say that she's number three, maybe even number two, because like I said, Grande hasn't really shown
She's
up.
number two.
Yeah, I think if she was gonna show up anywhere, she would have already, but it's possible. And It's a bit sad because we haven't talked about this, but both of these like winners of both supporting categories are like lead performances, and this is extreme category fraud. And like, whatever, it is what it is. And I'm not mad 'cause I like both winners, but it is a bit of a shame that like someone like Isabella isn't really gonna have a chance here because she's going up against someone who's in like the whole movie. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and she had such small screen time, which hasn't always affected winners. You know, actors are still won for a small amount of time on screen, but she's in a
yeah.
male-dominated film, but makes such an amazing impact in
I
it.
agree. Yeah, I think she's fantastic. Her impression is immense in what like her 5 minutes of screen time. I'm glad she got the nomination. So
Yeah, same. And she's a legend. She's an icon. She's a legacy
exactly.
of her family. Okay. Um, Best actor. Yeah, that's what we got next. Best actor, The Brutalist for which is Adrian Brody. Timothy Chalamet, A Complete Unknown. Coleman Domingo, he was in Sing Sing. Ray Fiennes, Conclave, and Sebastian Stan, which surprised a lot of people. Not me, because I've seen the
Not
Apprentice
me,
ages
and
ago.
he was my favorite performance of the year, like of any performance. And so I'm so glad he showed up here. Like I was shocked because there's been a lot of backlash for this movie, but great performance. I'm glad that kind of like rose to the surface. So
And is it the Marvel connection is why you're so stoked he's there as well?
yeah, I mean, that doesn't hurt. I am like a big MCU fan, but it was mainly just like, this is my favorite performance and I want to see it get some love. Yeah.
Could he upset any of these actors? Because the AI
The
thing,
Trump thing.
Adrian
Oh,
Brody,
okay.
because it's Trump, people hate Trump,
Yeah,
and
like a screw you
Trump's
to Trump kind
openly
of
said
thing.
he didn't,
Yeah.
he wanted the movie buried and all that. So do you think, is that a spite the Academy and all the
I'd
members?
love to see it. I couldn't see that happening. Yeah, so for me here, I'm going Adrian Brody. Yeah, I was very hopeful of Timmy all season, but I just think he's still pretty young. They're pretty hesitant to give it to like young actors. And he's only won SAG, which isn't nothing. And I wouldn't be completely shocked if he did win, but I don't know. I do think that Adrian Brody gives the better performance and he's just shown up more. And I think that like when it is Timmy's time, we're gonna know it. I think he's gonna sweep the whole season when it's his time. There's gonna just be this like giant rollout for him. He's going to be the anointed one, and I just think they're going to make him wait, like they did for Leo.
For viewers and listeners,
Sorry.
Timmy,
Yeah.
as Ash just said several times, is Timothy Chalamet. People knew that. I'm just joking. I'm glad that you can call him Timmy. It's funny. I don't know, because
I love Timmy.
Rami Malek won, and he was miming, right?
I know.
He
I
sang a bit.
know.
He sang a bit, but he was miming. He's still great. I thought him as Freddie Mercury in Bohemian Rhapsody. I love the film just in general, but Timothy played his own guitars and he was in music. He became Bob Dylan singing and walking and talking and looking like him, and it was a 5 or 6 years in the making role. He said he knew about it from James Mangold, the director, years and years ago. They tapped in to get him.
I
So
agree. Yeah. I think he deserves it. I just think,
people love him. He's
yeah, I think it's possible. I just think he's number two. That's my opinion. Are you going Timmy?
no, I'd
Oh,
love
you
to
had
see him
Adrian
win.
as
No,
well.
I
Yeah.
gotta go Adrian. I've said all along, Adrian Brody is
Yeah.
absolutely powerful, brought me to tears.
I
Uh,
agree.
yeah, I was in a little fetal position watching him act. I mean that with respect, because he just affected me so much. I was crying and swept out with the emotion of The Brutalist. Absolutely love the movie, all 3.5 hours of it. But Ray Fiennes is my second.
Really, I would love that. It's just if he couldn't even show up at BAFTA, that gave the main prize to the to Conclave, like, and he's a British actor.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. And then, did you see this thing that came out that like a bunch of Academy voters have said, "Oh, we thought Ray Fiennes already won for
Oh.
like Schindler's List," and I'm like, Google is right there, guys. Go and look at Google, please. Like, do not like deprive this genius of like to me, he is the number one overdue actor out there. He needs to win, and I am so sad that he is not like our front runner this season. But I'm
I
just calling it
was
like I see it.
I don't know if you've heard this story, but I was too young to appreciate the English Patient. So I was anti Ray Fiennes in almost everything around that period. I just thought, why does everyone love that movie? And then I've rewatched it a few times since, and I get it. And I'm a major Ray Fiennes fan, but I read that, I saw that article and that thing too. And they, a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of Academy members don't watch a lot of movies. This is rumors that I've
This
heard.
is the problem, yeah.
I
So
rumors that I've heard, and I'm not naming names, but people I interview, I talk to off the record, and I also know Academy members that have been, in the Academy and vote. Uh,
I
so
don't think they hide it, honestly. I've seen them openly say it in interviews. Oh, I voted for this movie, but I haven't even seen it. And I'm just like, ah, hey,
there should
get
be,
some of us cinephiles in the Academy, damn it.
yeah, that does not enough. That's right. For every Martin Scorsese, there's someone who's just watches the odd movie every year. A handful of films, and
Exactly
ones
right.
that they get sent, they probably don't go to the cinema. I hate to say that. All right, so actors out of the way. Best actress. Okay, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked. Carla Sofia Gascon, Amelia Perez. Mikey Madison, Honora. I know you're going to go with her for sure, I think. Demi Moore, The Brutalist, and Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, which could be the upset winner. It might overlap everyone, but what do you think? You go first.
I'm actually going Demi Moore. This I
Okay.
don't even want to say it's a swing. I definitely think it's between her and Mikey Madison,
Oh, yeah.
maybe Fernanda.
Yeah.
But I do think again, like I think that Honora is winning Best Picture. So to think that Mikey isn't going to like come along with that movie when she is Honora is kind of insane. But I do think that Demi has the narrative. She has shown up the most this season. She has shown a bit of weakness because she didn't win a BAFTA. But I love the substance. I think there's a lot of passion for that movie, that performance, for her, the
Oh, yeah.
narrative. And so, you know what? Like, substance or bust, I'm going Demi.
Substance or bust. I love it. That should be on a t-shirt.
Exactly right.
Look, I love Carla and Amelia Perez, but unfortunately, I think social media has ruined her chances, or she
Yeah,
ruined her
not
chances.
happening.
It's probably not happening. She's attending though, I believe. You would have read
I
that.
have heard she's attending and Netflix are paying for her, despite though they said that they weren't going to, but now they are. So I guess that's good. I
Yeah,
don't
I think
know.
it is good.
I don't even know if she's going to be sitting with the table or whatever. Like, I think they're just figuring it out. There's a lot of drama around this, so it's like we'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
I know. A lot of people are going for Cynthia in this one. I think Demi Moore also, as much as I think Mikey Madison became an aura, and I haven't seen Fernanda's performance, but from what I can tell, she could be an
She is
upset.
amazing, and like I
Yeah.
wouldn't hate it if she got it. I really need Demi to win here. Like,
Oh,
it's
she's a
just
career actor, 40 plus years. And when she won that Golden Globe, I think that was the first one, or maybe the Gotham or whatever it was, she made that announcement that she's never won anything. It was like her first ever award.
yeah.
For such a great body of work. I mean, A Few Good Men and Ghost, I'm always recommending to people with her.
I love
Among
A Few Good Men. It's like my favorite movie. So yeah, big
she
fan.
holds her own with everyone in that stellar cast. Yeah, I would cry. I'll be crying my eyes out if she wins. I'll be crying my eyes out whoever wins, but
Me
definitely.
too. I also just think like, I'm a massive fan of horror and horror is never recognized. So to see this like major award happen, it's gonna be like historic for us horror fans. Very excited.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what's worrying me a little bit, the horror side of it.
That's
But
what worries all of us. But I
yeah,
will
yeah.
say, like, even if people didn't watch that whole movie, I do think she is in, like her best scenes are like the first half, really. So I do think that like that's kind of enough to get her through as well. So
Mikey's in the game though. People love her.
100%. Yeah.
She's a people person. She's happy and friendly and really excited to be in this position. You can tell that she's just stoked that she's nominated. And
Yeah. And
yeah,
she's hustling. I've seen her out there on this award circuit and she's doing a great job. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't mind if she won, but go Demi. All right, I'm going to mess up this name. Best director. This is Emilia Perez, director. Can you say it for me? Do you know it?
I think it's Jacques Audiard. Is that right?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Jacques Audiard.
We're so
All right.
Australian. I love it.
Oh, no, even practiced and stuff. I'm hopeless with
It's
names.
hard, I know.
We always have been. Sean Baker, Honora, Brady Corbet, say that one. The Brutalist. Oh no, Correlate Fage. Isn't that right?
I think it's right. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
great on that one either.
yeah. French wasn't my biggest subject at school, and for the substance, and James Mangold, a complete unknown. I'll go first on this one. I want to
The
say,
hard category.
yeah, I don't think Sean Baker. I hate to say it. Coralie is my tip, personally, but it's Brady. I'm going to go on the record and say Brady Corbet for the Brutalist. What about you?
I want to say, first of all, that Coralie is the one that should win.
Yeah. Well, I
If
just
she,
said that too. Yeah. I
I
would be
think she
over
should
the
win.
moon.
I just think that is way too cool for the Academy. Like, if they did that, I would lose my mind. I don't think they're just not cool enough. It's like the same reason they didn't nominate the Challengers score. It's just too cool for them. I do think it's between Brady and Sean Baker, but I'm going with Sean Baker again, with Honora in Best Picture. He also won DGA, and that's like a pretty hard stat to kind of beat. I think the last like 10 out of the last 12 like winners of DGA have gone on to win here. That being said, he hasn't shown up consistently everywhere else. Brady has taken quite a few, and there are some issues with Honora even in Best Picture. Like, it is quite vulnerable to Conclave. So there's a lot up in the air here. I am going to say Honora and Sean Baker, but like, I'm not going to be shocked if it goes to someone else. And I'll tell you right now, if on the night it goes to Brady Corbet, I'm going to be so nervous about what's going to win Best Picture. So,
Well, Driving Miss Daisy won Best Picture, and the director wasn't nominated. So
yeah, it can happen. Like,
yeah.
it definitely can happen. Yeah.
I love Sean Baker. I've already said that. I really do, but he hasn't been turning up, and he hasn't been winning.
Oh, right. Okay. You said like he hasn't. Yeah. I see what you're
It
saying.
just
It's like he's,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, and are you saying the Academy's not cool?
I
Like
am saying that
Carly?
they very rarely go for like what I would say is, yeah, the cool option. Like, I have to say last year them going with Zone of Interest in sound, and the Godzilla movie in was that international feature? Is that where they not it wasn't international. Where did they go
It
for
was
that?
yeah.
I'm trying to think of what it was. I can't even think now. My mind is blanking. But last year they actually had two really cool nominations. Sorry, two wins, and I was like, "Holy crap! This is like insane for them." But it is so rare for them to actually like almost choose the right thing. I don't know how you feel about that, but yeah. No, I don't think it's cool to answer your question. They're not cool.
Well, I think the Academy's becoming cooler. Margot
I couldn't
Robbie.
agree more. Yes, they are becoming cooler.
Well, the members are becoming younger and more
Yeah, and that's helping.
authentic as well and diverse. You got Margot Robbie and Joel Edgerton, two Aussies. They're members. They're Academy members. So I think they're cool, obviously.
I
But then,
agree. I just think that like a large portion of the academy is still like older white men, and so
yeah,
I just don't think they're kind of choosing some of these cool options. And like the substance, like you said, a lot of academy voters just they're not going to be down for horror, let alone body horror, and this kind of
that's what I'm worried
cool
about.
kind of film. So yeah.
I don't want to sound controversial or anything, but is because Coralie is female, has she got a vote because
I
she's
actually
female?
think that that gives her a bit of an edge for
Yeah,
sure.
that's what I'm
I
thinking.
want to say she's probably number 3 in the category. Like, I would be really shocked if she won. Like, this would be insane. But I mean, I'm excited for it. And again, this year is insane. This has been the craziest season. So I guess if it was ever going to happen, this might be the year.
Oh yeah, so I'm saying Brady Corbet for the Brutalist, but I'm not confident. I'm almost not
Yeah.
confident on
Oh yeah.
anything.
Anyone who would be confident in this category would be lying. Like, it's definitely up in the air. So
Yeah, and Sean Baker will have his time if he doesn't win. on Monday. Coralie will have her time. I mean, her previous movie, Revenge, was outstanding as well.
Oh, I love Revenge. Yeah, no, but this is part of why I'm going with Baker is that I do kind of think it's his time. I think like Brady is pretty new to the scene, and I think Sean Baker's kind of been out there in the trenches for years with his like indie filmmaking, and I
Yeah,
do think that they're gonna kind of want to reward that. And he has had other films or like in the on like the precipice of not Best Picture, but like I think Florida Project. I think
yeah,
Defoe was nominated. Red
yeah,
Rocket was like kind of in the conversation. It never really broke through, but it was
yeah.
there. So, I do think that like it is a bit of a boys' club or I don't know, the networking thing. So we'll see. But yeah, I do think that gives Baker an edge as well.
Well, Tangerine, which is one of my favorites of his, is a Christmas movie, by the way.
Yes.
He filmed that on an Apple iPhone, like the
I know,
entire
he's so
movie.
good.
Remember that? So
I
yeah, Sean
do,
Baker,
yeah.
his time is coming, and again, if he wins, I'll be so happy for him. But yeah, I've got to pick one for the sake of us chatting and for
Yep.
my own personal records, and I'm picking Brady for the Brewers.
Yep. No, it's not a bad pick for sure. It can happen.
The
So
movie really affected me, and I hated hearing about that small amount of AI that was used. I hated hearing that, but
yeah, look, I honestly don't think it's affected anything too much. I think they really got on like the kind of front foot of that and they explained it. And I think it was like such minimal use, it's probably not going to impact things. And
yeah,
also, the other controversies of the season, I just think have like overshadowed it so much, which is
that's
probably pretty
true.
good for it. So
That's
yeah.
true. All right, Best Picture. This is the big one. 10 films nominated, with only a couple of chances, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. A Complete Unknown, Honora, The Brutalist, Conclave, June Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, and Nickel Boys, The Substance, Go to Substance, and Wicked. Although I know a lot of theatre kids out there want Wicked to win. I think I know your pick already, but so you can go first, and you probably know mine as
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going Anora. I do think that like it's probably like a 70% chance to win. I do think that like just having a combination of PGA, WGA, DGA, CCA, like
it's
that
on a
is a
roll.
really, really strong combo. It has the most important precursors. That being said, Conclave definitely with the BAFTA and the SAG is not nothing. It is a weird year. The Oscar package that we're trying to put together for these films of like, so if Honora is going to win here, it kind of has to win a few other things. And it's like, if it's not going to win director, if it's not going to win screenplay, like what is its package? If any of these like movies had a lock in the acting categories, maybe I'd feel more comfortable, but I don't because like we don't know if Mikey's winning. We just don't know. So it is really hard to put the package together. So with these precursors is like mainly what I'm going off. And I do think the package is there for Honora if it gets screenplay, maybe editing and director. So that's where I am. But yeah, number two, I would say Conclave.
Yeah, I want to say the Brutalist, but I think the AI thing is really going to affect it. Uh,
Yeah.
Overall, I've been saying the Brutalist for months, but Conclave is my pick. I don't see Honora
Nice.
winning. I can't. Like I keep upsetting people saying that probably, but
One thing I do want to say that we kind of talked about and how I was saying like, oh, the Academy is not cool. I will say, like in the Academy's defense, they have made great choices over the past. I want to say like since the Parasite year, maybe even since like the Moonlight year, they have been making really good decisions in Best Picture.
oh yeah,
And I have to say that I feel like Honora does it doesn't feel like an Oscar film, which almost makes me want to predict it more here because they've been going with like the film that doesn't feel like the Oscar film. And to me, Conclave and The Brutalist feels like old school Academy Award Oscars. I don't know how you feel about that, but
so Amelia Perez is completely out of the
I
story.
think that's just done. Yeah, with that controversy, I can't see it doing anything. Yeah.
And with that out, is there any other than the two that we just picked? Any surprises? Any upsets here? Can Wicked win?
Like I want to I just think Wicked has not shown up this year enough. I wish it could. I think like, yeah, maybe part two. And maybe people have got that in the back of their minds. Part two is happening. But like Wicked, it's really only vying for like below the line categories. So that there's just no package there for that. I want to almost argue for the substance, but like that just it's not going to happen. It didn't pick up any awards like major precursors, but like it actually does have a strong package if we think that
Yeah,
makeup and hairstyling could happen and Demi could happen. And all you need is for like one other random one to happen. Like, what
yeah,
if screenplay happens? Then it's taking three major awards. Like, I
yeah.
feel like it's higher up than people are giving it credit for. I still don't think it's winning.
No.
But yeah, like, I actually think that's like closer to the top. Like, I think it's in the top five. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Yeah, my shock is definitely going to be the substance. If it could, like you said, if it wins a couple of other categories, it's all of a sudden in the mix with Conclave and Aura and the Brutalist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there. Wicked though, we had a brief discussion before we started, and I said to you, and you sort of touched on it then, that part two to me will get looked at by the Academy more than this one. But you have like you don't think that's true?
It's more like I just feel like I keep hearing people say this, and I keep thinking like the two
Because of
times this has
Return of the
really
King?
happened. Yeah, also yes, exactly. So the precedent for that is Return of the King and maybe Godfather Part Two. I think those are the
Yeah.
two major things that have happened. But this hasn't really been a trend in recent years. Like June Part Two, it was kind of overlooked. To me, they were kind of like, oh, we've already rewarded it for all these things. Why would we keep doing it again? And so it went from having what, like 10 nominations for the first one to now a lot less.
Yeah.
I don't know what the nomination count is. And then similar with like Avatar, the number two was Way of Water. And so
Yeah.
and I was saying Furiosa, and we like never really thought that was going to show up here, but the fact that Fury Road had so many that year is shocking that it didn't kind of come up again here. So to me, it's kind of like this is just not a pattern. It's almost like the exception and not the rule, if that makes sense. So I would love to see Wicked show up again, and I hope to be proven wrong, but this is what seems to be happening. This is the pattern I'm seeing.
Yeah, no,
So
I was
yeah.
really interested when we talked about that before, so I wanted you to share it again.
Yeah. Hopefully I didn't ramble too
Because
much
it's right,
there,
you're
but
right. But I
yeah.
don't think Avatar is a great example because it was a different movie. It was not as well, I'm not saying it wasn't as good, but Avatar was sort of like the original was a different movie. It blew everyone out of the water. It was great, but I didn't think the second one had
I
that.
agree with you, but everyone else seems to be obsessed with this movie, so I'm trying to put my own feelings aside. I'm not a big Avatar fan, but yeah.
But Two Towers for me out of the Rings trilogy is my favorite. And
Really, yeah.
yeah, I mean, then Return of the King was my least favorite.
Really?
Got
Yeah, okay,
to
interesting.
say,
I
yeah.
think Fellowship's my favorite, but I love them all. It's so hard to
Oh, they're
choose.
all. Oh, me too. I love them all too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the second one, I think the trees got me in the second one. I love that.
Because
Well,
yeah, people are saying this
that's it.
about June as well. They're like, oh well, maybe when June Messiah comes along, it'll get rewarded. And I'm like, no, like it just doesn't seem to be happening. So I don't know.
The June Messiah is going to be really interesting. But from what I haven't
I've
read
heard
the
it's very
books,
dark, and yeah, I
yeah,
don't know. Just from what I'm hearing, it's like,
different
no, this
movie.
isn't going to be what you think. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, the bar's set very high for
It
June. That's
sure
for
is.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, any final words on the ceremony and what to expect maybe on the red carpet or any
Um,
surprises that might happen besides nominations? Anything that you've got? The girls they're singing on. I think they're singing live because originally there was going to be no live music, but I think
yeah, so they
Wicked.
said they weren't going to do the original songs, which
Yeah,
I was glad about because I was like, no one wants to see this.
well, I think secretly I think that's why they might have
100%. And
said
I
that.
also think, like, to the credit of, like, say, Zoe and maybe Selena or whoever else would do it, for
Yeah,
like Amelia Perez,
yeah,
sorry, Selena is, but like Zoe is not a professional singer, and maybe she just didn't feel comfortable doing that, like doing this live performance at the Oscars, and I couldn't blame her.
yeah.
So I think they've made the right choice. I think the best musical numbers this year are not original songs. Like, is it possible we'll see Timothy Chalamet? That'd be nice. I think he could do it, especially since he did SNL. I'd love to see some sort of a surprise performance. Like, do you remember a few years ago they had Eminem doing like the 8 Mile song
Oh
as
yeah,
a
because he
complete
didn't sing it
surprise?
originally, right?
Yeah, like I would love to see something like that happen. Maybe there's like a 10-year anniversary, or like what if like could you imagine if they did like a Chicago throwback or something? Because that was like the last big film to win a musical and for Best Picture, and like this has been such a musical driven year. Like to celebrate that, I don't know. Like I that's what I want to see. I want to see some sort of exciting surprise. So yeah.
Will they wheel out Bob Dylan?
If
Like,
he
and
was ever gonna show up, I guess it has to be now, right? But I think that's almost like his whole shtick, and like the movie's whole campaign is essentially like this guy is so mysterious and doesn't want to have anything to do with anything. And but look, and this is I don't want to say this is like depressing, but I know that the Pope right now is sick, and if he actually does die before the Oscars, I might have to change to Conclave for Best Picture because to me that is like a sign from God. Like I don't know, this is to me this is just like what timing? Do you know what I mean?
it's what Price Waterhouse will have the envelopes in their locked suitcase right now, and you
Yeah.
think there's going to be like divine intervention if
Literally,
something
this is a
happens to the
sign from
Pope.
God. Like I don't know. I just if that happens, I pray to God it doesn't happen for this poor guy. But like, what freakish timing! I'll tell you right now.
Well, I've tipped Conclave anyway, sort of, in a lot of
Yeah,
categories, and the Brutalist is just amazing. They're all good. We've talked about.
there. Yeah, we've got great movies this year. Honestly.
I think the Bob Dylan thing. If you're right, if ever he was going to make an appearance, because he's a known recluse and he also doesn't do media, a little bit like Harrison Ford was for such a long time. Now he's everywhere. It's pretty funny, but yeah, I think if you had maybe Timothy and yeah, would they come out together and present something or?
I
Uh,
would love that. I mean, who knows, like a musical performance or something like
Yeah,
that.
see,
But
you would have maybe
we'll
Bob
see.
come out on stage, sing something from the film, and then all of a sudden behind him comes Timothy, with a guitar slung around his neck, his shoulder. That would bring the house down. Stuff like that happens at Grammys, especially when they bring out old performers with young performers.
Yeah,
So
I would love that.
Bob, to me, though, is boring as ever. I think he's the most boring as singer. And this was another movie that I thought I wouldn't like. I was just thought, oh, I've got to go and see this Bob Dylan movie. But it made me appreciate his lyrics and appreciate him and the music much more after seeing the film.
Yeah, exactly
Uh,
right.
I'm
Yeah.
still not a huge fan of Bob Dylan, but it'd be great to see him at the Oscars. And final word, do you think Conan is going to get upset anyone politically, or will he keep politics out of it?
I don't know enough about his style of comedy, but surely not. I feel like after we had a few kind of crazy years with like the Will Smith thing and the whole La La Land debacle, I think they really want to keep it like pretty straight laced. I think they're going to try and minimize controversy. I think all eyes will be like on Carla to see, are they going to make any jokes about her? How are they going to navigate that? But he's like a veteran in this field. He knows what he's doing, and I have faith that he's going to be awesome. So.
I'll be surprised if Carla walks the red carpet. I hope
I
she does.
agree. Yeah, I
And,
think she'll
and
just sit down. Yeah.
and if she does, she'll only talk to one or two people at most. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope she does. I don't want her to step away from the limelight completely. I want her to be there and be present, if you know what I mean. Like she's going, so
Yeah.
that's a huge step because people didn't think she would go. Um, yeah, I don't know. Unless Netflix have said to her, well, "We don't want you to talk to anyone," but can they control that much?
I
What
mean, yeah, who knows? I would think that they've probably spoken to her and been like, this is really gonna hurt you and your film and everything. But I mean, that didn't stop the craziness of the whole controversy and what she came out and said and these interviews she's already done. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they can't control her. I don't know. Look, we're all eyes on her. I'll tell you right now. This is gonna be interesting to watch.
I keep wanting to wrap this up, but I've got another question for you.
Okay.
Would you ever, or have you ever applied to be in the bleachers and be, in the crowd there where they're
Oh
walking?
my goodness, like my dream. I would love to do
You can
it.
actually apply. Like it's
I've
a
heard this.
year
A
out.
few people have messaged me saying they do it, and I'm just like, I would love to. It's just obviously I've got to, if I could go to like one film related thing, because obviously money is an issue. We live in Australia, it's expensive.
Yeah,
And flying, and then I also have two children, small children, so it's hard to get away. If I could do anything like movie related, I'd be going to a film festival probably.
yeah,
Like TIFF probably would be my dream. So yeah.
yeah,
I guess don't you're not gonna catch me at the Oscars anytime soon, but my dream one
yeah.
day.
The Cannes Film Festival's my dream. I've never been to. I've
Yes, I would
been to a
love to
few
do that
film
as well.
festivals over the years, but Cannes is my one day. I keep saying it, but one day I'd like to go there. I got to get over my fear of flying. The next step from
Yeah.
being in bleachers, though, is being a seat filler. Imagine being a seat filler.
Oh, what a dream. Yeah, I could do it.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. All right, I appreciate your time, Ash. For
Thank you
people
so much for
who
having me.
Oh, I can't wait for people to hear our discussion. I love doing this with you. I'm glad this is only our second one, but we're going to be doing it annually every
For
year
sure. I love
for
it.
sure. How can people? You're very popular. You got many more followers and much more people like you than they like me. I would say I'm too
No,
boring.
definitely not.
You're entertaining. You're funny, and you have some
I
great
try.
videos. You do that a lot.
Yeah, that's because I like don't like talking. I feel like I have the worst voice.
You don't, you don't. So where can people
um,
find you? Just your social media and everything else.
I'm on Instagram at Movie Watching Girl. Otherwise, you can find me like on Letterbox with all the movies I love to watch. That's just Ashley Pradella, and yeah, I'm just all around the internet and like those kind of handles. So yeah.
Cool.